accounts unavailable. Some Bank of America users waking up to see a zero in their bank account as online servers appeared to be down.
Last for more than a few days or more than a week, you're going to get massive cascading effects of backlog building up of cargo that needs to get moved and can't.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's gonna happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the companies money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've been following the news lately, you might have noticed some serious disruptions happening across America. From major bank outages to massive port strikes. Just recently, Bank of America had a huge outage that left millions without access to their funds. And as I'm making this video, there are still people that don't have access to their funds. And on top of that, there's a port strike that's costing the country up to $5 billion a day. This is not just a series of random events. It's bigger than that. Today we're going to break it all down, how these glitches and disruptions affect you, what it means for inflation, and most importantly, what you can do to prepare. Let's get into it. We're living in an era where digital warfare has become one of the biggest threats to our financial stability. The recent Bank of America outage, which left millions of customers unable to access their funds, is just one example of how fragile our banking system has become. And let's be real here, many of these so-called glitches aren't just harmless technical errors. No, increasingly they're looking more like cyber attacks. What's truly shocking is the scale of cybercrime today. Cyber attacks have become so widespread and profitable, they now represent the third largest economy in the world after the USA and China. Think about that. If cybercrime were a country, it would have a larger economy than every nation except for those two. Cybercrime cost the world over $8 trillion in 2023, and the number is expected to rise to $10.5 trillion annually by 2025. Banks and financial institutions are prime targets because of the vast amount of money and sensitive data they handle. Plus, let's keep it real, their security is outdated. So every time there's a glitch, like the one we saw with Bank of America, it raises a serious question. Was this a technical malfunction, or was it the result of a coordinated cyber attack which banks are keeping secret because they don't want the public to panic? The world economy is holding on by a thread. All it would take is a black swan event to make bank runs happen. Wait, you don't know what a bank run is? Well, let's explain. Roll the clip.
Let's assume that Bank A, like any other bank, has customers who trust it with their money for various reasons. Some create bank deposits. Some simply keep some spending money in their bank accounts, and so on. These people are legally allowed to go to the bank and take their currency out in the form of paper money. The problem is that most of the currency banks manage doesn't exist physically. For the sake of our discussion, we'll assume 10% of the currency Bank A manages is tangible, and we'll also assume it actually keeps that paper money in a vault. If 2 out of 100 customers ask for physical money, the bank can handle it. But what if 20 out of 100 people do it? Naturally, the bank would become insolvent. It just doesn't have that much physical currency. To make matters worse, the depositors would panic and spread the word, causing a bank run, which is kind of like an infection. As more people find out a bank is in trouble, they tell others, and this might make depositors stop trusting banks in general. Even seemingly healthy banks can be affected because, again, most of their money is not physical.
Think about it. When people suddenly can't access their money, panic sets in. It doesn't take much for that panic to spread, especially when social media amplifies these incidents within minutes. People start rushing to withdraw their cash, and we've seen it happen before. Silicon Valley Bank, anybody back in 2023? Bank runs can bring down even the most powerful financial institution. Yes, that includes Bank of America. If enough people lose trust in the system, and that's exactly what could happen if these outages continue. Now, I do want to state, I'm not making this video to fearmonger. I'm just here to show you guys the reality. And what concerns me is that a lot of people are not paying attention like they should. Now, personally, I believe in cryptocurrency because you are able to have self-custody known as a cold storage wallet. Now, some people might say, well, if the grid goes out, you can't use your crypto. Guess what? But I know my crypto is safe, and I know it's all accounted for on the blockchain. Now, when we're talking about dealing with digital warfare that we're facing today, it's only going to escalate. The recent Bank of America glitch is a warning shot, a glimpse of what happens when the financial system is exposed to malicious actors looking to create chaos. If these events continue, and they likely will, we're going to see them continue, particularly the closer we get to the election, right? And even possibly beyond. It's only a matter of time before we face a full-scale crisis.
Now in day 2 of a dock workers strike, about 50,000 longshoremen walked off the job, and now some of the Mid-South are in panic mode. Many stores are now putting in orders for extra supplies from their warehouses because some shoppers have been panic buying. Our Shay Simon talked with an economist to get the facts about what's ahead.
Empty shelves, packed stores.
And another customer in here just told me the whole meat section was wiped out.
A longshoreman strike sending some shoppers in the Mid-South, like this Super Low in South Haven, into a frenzy.
Now let's dive into the ongoing port strikes that are already costing the country up to $5 billion a day. These strikes have led to major delays in the supply chain, affecting everything from food to consumer goods. But the problem runs deeper than just wages. Although port workers are demanding a 77% pay increase after not seeing a raise in 8 years, their biggest concern is automation. These workers don't want to lose their jobs to AI and robots. Companies, on the other hand, are pushing for automation because it would allow them to save billions in labor costs. Think about that for a moment. By replacing human workers with machines, these companies stand to increase their profits enormously. The technology is already here. AI, robotic systems, and automated vehicles are being developed at a breakneck speed, and industries like shipping are eager to implement them to reduce human labor costs. But what happens to the workers? We're seeing the same story play out across multiple sectors. AI and automation are revolutionizing everything from factories to grocery stores. It's estimated that AI and automation could replace 85 million jobs globally before 2026. While companies may save money, the social cost could be enormous. Millions of people could be displaced from their jobs, leading to mass unemployment unless we adapt our policies and workforce to this new reality. We've seen how panic can set in quickly when people feel uncertain about the future. Just look at what happened in 2020 during the early days of the pandemic. People rushed out to buy essentials like toilet paper, leading to massive shortages. Shelves were wiped clean in a matter of hours, and the panic snowballed into a frenzy. What started as a response to uncertainty became a self-fulfilling prophecy as people feared there wouldn't be enough to go around. Now back to the port strikes. The disruption they're causing isn't just about higher wages or the battle against automation. It's also about the ripple effects these strikes have on the broader economy. When goods can't be moved through ports, it disrupts the supply chain for countless industries. Food prices rise, everyday goods become more expensive, and inflation gets worse. As the strikes drag on and automation becomes a bigger focus, we could see further inflationary pressures on goods, especially if workers continue to fight for job security in an automated world. If people begin to worry that basic goods will become unavailable or unaffordable, we could see another wave of panic buying, much like we did during the pandemic. This only worsens and makes it even harder for regular people to make ends meet. Now, guys, I did say I'm not here to fearmonger, and now I will be discussing solutions or ways that you can take precautions. What you can do, and the most important thing to do, is not to panic. Because if you panic, then you will make irrational decisions out of fear and not out of logic or strategy. Now, the most important part, of course, is to make sure that you have shelter, right? And I'm assuming you have shelter if you're watching this, right? You may be watching from a computer or from a mobile device. The second most important thing is to make sure that you have food and medical supplies in case things run out or things get overly expensive. Now, am I saying that you should panic shop? No. But I do think it's wise for any household, whether you are a single man or single woman living completely by yourself, or you're a family of 5 or 10, right? That you have enough food stocked up for minimum a month. Now, I'm not saying go rush out and buy the food right now. You can buy the food gradually and make sure that, you have enough water as well. Look, we've been through tough times before, and we've always come out stronger. Yes, the situation we're in right now is unsettling, but let's not forget that we as a human species, human beings, we are resilient. As long as we stay informed, stay prepared, and look out for each other, we'll get through this. We made it through the Great Depression. We made it through World War I and II. We made it through, the debauchery of the Roman Empire, right? The elites might try to create chaos, but we won't fall for it. We'll keep pushing forward. And these elites, politicians, actors, actresses, these Hollywood types, they're all about to be exposed. It's up, okay? So don't give up hope. This is our time to come together and show the world what we're made of. Remember, I always keep you guys in my prayers. I believe in Jesus Christ, and he will see us through this. Anyway, God bless, and we're out. Peace.